Good morning. Good morning. Hey, listen. Welcome everybody to another edition of the No Stingy Energy Podcast, where we talk wealth, health, and financial well-being.
Yes,
O'Neal, you know
indeed. Yes,
what I'm saying?
indeed. Hey, what? I bet you I think it's crazy, but I
What's
think
that?
Byron called me this morning, asked what color I was wearing.
See, that would be very weird. That right there, that conversation right there in the morning would be very weird. Listen, this was coincidental.
uh,
Be like, yo, man, you gonna ride a red and I'm gonna wear the red. You know what I'm saying? We gonna match. Boy, that'll be that see, two grown men having that
yeah,
conversation would be
that's,
very
that's
weird.
that's a weird situation. You know, maybe we could just say great minds think alike. That sounds a bit better.
Yeah, man. You know,
That's
it's
funny.
funny. Oh, you was just talking about, you said that there's very few people in the country that actually have paid off houses. And that's
It's,
kind
it's
of
actually more
fascinating.
than I expected, though. But with that being said, it's probably a lot of older people that actually been in their house 30
Mm,
years. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to realize a lot of people bought houses and they never move. Like a lot of older
mm,
people, like my grandma, they've been in their house since like that. Shit, I think the 70s or the 80s.
mm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Wow.
you
And
got to think about
so
it like that.
a lot of the wealth is actually, that's where a lot of the wealth is trapped, and people will tell you that too. So that's amazing. I know that we are going to be talking about financial freedom, and I think, tell me if I'm wrong on this. So a lot of people misconstrue what financial freedom actually is. um they take it to be the because if you look at the Instagram version, right, most people think financial freedom means you are buying all of these lavish things, right, and the average millionaire is driving around in these big old nice fancy cars and all of these different things, but they don't realize that the average millionaire actually lives a very
Like a
simple
teacher.
life. What's that?
Like the average millionaire is probably like a teacher.
Yes, that
Then
is crazy.
a teacher ain't driving that though.
Wow.
You you catch it with a fully loaded Camry.
Mm, wow.
But when you hear financial freedom, what does it actually mean to you? Because everybody financial freedom is different.
That's true. I believe that financial freedom is when you reach an area and a life, when you reach a certain financial threshold, and then you also have a lifestyle that you've come to be comfortable with, right? And the amount of money and the lifestyle will sustain you for the next 20, 30 years without you having to go and clock in and deal with nobody. And I
Mm.
think a lot of people get confused because they think that financial freedom, right, means lavish lifestyle. But the truth is, financial freedom means reaching your number, right? And that number correlating with the lifestyle that you are okay with living with for the next 20, 30 years. And you not having to clock in order to maintain that.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think social media really changed people's perspective on what financial freedom really is.
Mm,
You don't have to have expensive cars to be financial free. You don't have to have a big house to be financially free. As long as you can surpass the bills that you have, it's typically financial freedom. So if all your bills per month is 3,500 and you making 6,000, you basically financially free. That's kind of
facts.
like to put it in the lamest terms. I know for me to be 100% financial free, I think I need my house paid off. That's what I want.
Amen.
That's what I want.
That's a blessed feeling. I think house and maybe vehicle.
Yeah, I think I'm not gonna lie. I think for us, a vehicle is really easy to pay off because you could flip one house and pay that joke off if you really want to. If that's what if that's your real goal is.
Facts.
I know I thought about it probably like 2 months ago or 3 months ago. My plan is to flip for the rest probably until I pay off my house, and a percentage of that profit I'm gonna just throw it on the mortgage. I gotta ask our special guest what's his thoughts about
Listen, we got a special guest this morning, man, that I'm thoroughly excited about.
No stranger
Because
here.
huh?
He's no stranger
No
here.
stranger. No stranger at all. You know what I'm saying? You may have seen him a few times. You know.
He didn't look. Shout out to Lady B. She loves the
Yeah,
red.
Lady B in the building. Shout out to Lady B being the first person in the building, man. Listen, it's all love, man. It is all love on this side of No Stingy Energy. That's a fact. So let's go ahead and run the show. Get this party started. And welcome to another episode of No Stingy Energy. Let's go. Welcome. Listen, my name is Byron, real estate investor out of Houston, Texas, primarily focused on the wholesale space, but I also do a little bit of creative finance, fix and flip, new construction, new to the build to rent space. And listen, if you're looking to get any new construction done, whether you are in Houston or you're outside of Houston, definitely tap in with me at First Choice Development. And you can also go to firstchoicedevelopment.net if you want to schedule a appointment to talk about how we can help you get started on your build to rent journey, your custom home journey, first home journey, or your build to sell journey, rehab journey, all things centered around construction. We got you covered. So definitely reach out to me on that. But listen, we got a very powerful conversation. I think everybody needs to make sure that you have a notepad in place, because you are going to learn something that you have never learned before on today. That is a fact. You're going to learn something that you've never learned today, and it is going to be tremendously impactful. But O'Neal, what's going on?
Good morning. What's up, everybody? Neil Parker, real estate investor, entrepreneur in Lafayette, Louisiana. Been investing in real estate since 2016. Full-time entrepreneur since 2020. Do all things real estate, but love rentals, love passive income. Also a contractor, mentor, and just helping people, especially our people shrinking the wealth gap every day. Any construction needs in Louisiana, make sure you reach out to me. I can help you all out and get you to your next destination. And that's me, man. I'm excited about today, though. I'm excited about today. Yeah. You know, I always like to learn new things, man.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. Just being honest with you. A lot of the information that our guest today has shared has definitely impacted the way that I view any level of debt. I just don't see it the same way that I used to see it before. And
it's how it's supposed to be.
Exactly.
That mean you're really listening and taking heed of what's going on.
Yeah, and I don't even think I've probably scratched the surface. He'll probably tell you that.
That's like when you learn something new, like when you actually learn about how money works. You go to a restaurant, you start counting all the heads and be like, man, them jokers making $50 a plate. They got 60 people there. They making some money.
Absolutely.
I think you look at everything a little bit differently once you're more educated on what's really going on behind the scenes.
Yes, indeed. I love that. Third eye. Yes, indeed.
That'd be so sick of people at 3 eyes, though.
Well, that'd be a hell of a vision, boy. You talking about 3D.
Hey, I'm talking about stay away from me. I don't want no parts of that third eye.
Listen, man. Listen, I just want to go ahead and give a warm welcome to my guy, Don Daniels, Ice 10K in the building. You know what I mean?
I didn't get the memo.
Nah, That would have been. I ain't gonna lie. That would have been extremely weird if we'd all had real.
Yeah. It would have been weird. It would have been weird.
I just think my
People
day.
wouldn't have believed us. They wouldn't have believed it was a coinky dink. They would have been like, nah, that ain't no coinky dink. No.
That's right, man. That's right.
That'd be like, y'all ever see one of them on Instagram or TikToks when they give on vacation, they got all the husbands wearing the same shirt. So that's crazy. So you got to make sure you got you another shirt in the car.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely.
What's
Don,
going on, Mr. Don?
Yes, man.
can you introduce yourself to the people who may or may not know, you and all of the greatness thereof?
Yeah, my name is Don Daniel, founder of Pill Method International. It's a better way to manage and eliminate debt. We've been doing this for 19 years. And PIL stands for prepayment of principal, isolating the principal amount, leverage, and liquidity. We've dedicated ourselves to helping people to understand how money actually works, how lending actually works, and to have a good view of it so that you can cut your interest costs on loans by 75%. If you choose to, you can pay off all of your debt. That's student loans, credit cards, car loans, everything together in about 7 years. If you're a real estate investor, you can cash out refi 10 to 15 years sooner. Now, when you start doing the opportunity cost calculations on being able to put money to use 10 to 15 years sooner, oh my gosh, we're leaving millions on the table if we don't understand this. And so we're working on helping people to get that knowledge and to make it part of the conversation when it comes to, just understanding money and investing.
I like that. Let me ask you this real quick.
Yeah.
How important is financial freedom to you?
Financial freedom to me is, first of all, understanding it and then obtaining it to passive income. You want your money working for you. Financial freedom is money working for you, you not working for it. Okay? So, if I have a business or a job and I know what it takes to manage my lifestyle, but if I have to get up and do something to get it, then I'm not free. I'm not saying it's not a good thing. I like getting up. I like working, but I'm not free not to work. So when you're financially free, work is optional.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's what financial freedom is to me.
I like it, man. I like it because it's basically what you do is teach people financial freedom on a scale because you're paying off all their debt.
Well, and that's the thing. We're looking at using new terminology, and you mentioned Byron. We're going to learn something new today. We're going to get rid of all the old ideas when it comes to money and debt. You're not paying off your debt. That's not the goal. It has never been the goal. We have been fooled into thinking that that's the goal. Can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
If all of your loans were 0% interest, would there be any financial benefit to paying the loans off early?
No.
Absolutely not. You see what I'm saying? So, why is everybody focused on the debt when what we should be focused on is saving the interest? And everything that I do, I want to make sure that I lower the cost of business no matter where I am and no matter what the issue is. I want to lower the cost of borrowing money. And if I lower the cost of borrowing money, then my goal is to get more for less. And that's how we have to start looking at this thing, because we think differently. We are taught to think differently about money than the bankers of the world think about money. They want us to save and to put money in the bank and to use cash and to say, okay, and do it their way. But I'm telling you, the biggest borrowers in town are your banks. They borrow more money than anybody. They borrow our money, they put it to work, they make a lot of money with that money, and then they pay us pennies on the dollar for the use of it. Why are we taught to do it differently? That's what I want to know.
Can you explain like the core principles of the pill method and how it differs from traditional debt reduction strategies?
Sure. The core principles, first of, is prepayment of principal. Okay. First of all, you need to know, everybody knows that you can prepay or pay more than the minimum on debt. Everybody knows that. But here's what we don't know. We don't know what we get for it. What is the benefit of prepaying? How much interest am I going to save? I know that I'm saving time. I know that I'm saving interest. Okay. And I said it on one of my videos just the other day when people are saying, well, I paid extra on my loan and we're okay with that. Now I'm going to ask, how much interest did you save when you did that? And they'll say, I don't know. So you're telling me you're giving somebody some of your hard-earned dollars and you have no idea what you just received for giving them your money.
I think majority of people like that.
And see, you know, and the crazy thing about it is no one ever thought about it until I bring it up.
It's a fact.
I never thought about the fact that now try that at the grocery store. Go to the grocery store, give them your money, and not know what you're bringing out in the form of groceries, or buy gas. Oh, better yet, invest in a property. I'm going to invest in this property. I have no idea what I'm investing. I don't know what I'm going to get out of it. No, banking is the only thing that I know of where we give people money and we don't know what we're getting. And
that's crazy. That's crazy when you say it like that.
Facts.
Yeah, it's by design.
But go ahead and pay it. I don't know what I'm getting back.
Yes. And so when we're taking a look at these loans, we're saying, okay, I want to, so prepayment of principal, when I prepay, I need to know what I'm getting. Okay. Isolating the principal amount. How much should I prepay? Of all the money that I have to work with, how much should I use? Okay, so I want to isolate it, cut it out, carve it out, and say, I want to use this much of my money to do this thing. All right. Now, leverage, that's a little different from isolating. Leverage means, what is the least amount I can pay towards my debt to get the biggest benefit? And what are we taught to do?
Leverage to get the biggest. Yeah.
Leverage.
So,
go ahead.
Let me understand this, because this is where it gets interesting. So what you're basically saying is, it's not about just paying extra towards principal. It's about paying the least amount towards principal, but getting the maximum return for said investment. Taking the other funds and maybe distributing those in other places that get you the highest benefit with the least amount of investment.
Listen, man, that's what you guys are all about. Okay, you want to manage. We buy the property right. All right. I'm going to put the right amount of money into rehab, and then I'm going to rent it right. I'm going to get the investment, and I'm going to make the most I can off the investment. I'm going to buy it for the least and sell it for the most.
That kind of reminds me of the deal we just had done. We just recently
just recently closed on a deal.
That happened. That was the thing. We did a thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And what I like about this, I love when I can make money with people that I, appreciate, and that I have built community with and relationship with. And that's exactly what we were able to do. And it wasn't a small piece of change. It was a nice little piece of change. I do believe we probably could have made more, you know what I'm saying, on the deal, but it is what it is. Pigs get fat and hogs get slaughtered. So sometimes you just go ahead and take your slow nickel, your fast nickel instead of your slow dime. Sometimes you just do that.
Yeah.
But the beautiful thing about that, and the reason why I bring it up, is because in that, we had a couple options, right? But the seller had some needs as well, right? And obviously, when you're looking to provide value to the marketplace, you want to make sure that you can provide the most amount of value. And in this particular instance, this guy needed to move ASAP.
Yeah.
He needed to move ASAP. And so we wanted to go ahead and make sure that we can accommodate that, as well as, make something for ourselves. But you mind kind of giving us an understanding of how you kind of recognize this opportunity?
Okay.
And what are your thoughts about that said opportunity after the fact, now that you've kind of seen, what that looks like?
Okay. Recognizing the opportunity, that's number one. So I got my butt on a plane, came to Texas because I heard about this thing, came to Texas, went to a 2-day. Byron was there, and I'm sorry, the guy that Brian was with you, all right, and teaching us how to recognize a deal and to construct a deal, all right. And so when this came along, I immediately recognized what it was, because somebody had implanted that information inside of me. So when I saw it, it resonated. And I'm telling you, Byron, I could have heard that and not known what to do.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because they would have been bringing these were people that I knew, and they were telling me, Don, there's people calling us about our house, but they're saying they want to buy it cash, and but what they're offering us is way too low. And I said, do you know what a wholesaler is? And they said, no. I said, these people aren't trying to buy your house. They're wholesalers. They said, what is that? So I got an opportunity to inform them of what a wholesaler is. A wholesaler will come in and offer to buy your house and get it under contract. And then they will assign that contract to a cash buyer. All right. So I gave them an example of if they can get your house on contract for like $100,000, and then they can sell it to a cash buyer for $150,000, they make 50 grand for signing a piece of paper. That's what a wholesaler.
Absolutely. So you educated these people on this opportunity, right?
Yes, I did.
The beautiful thing about this, and I want everybody to kind of pay attention to this. The things that we're talking about today, right? You may have heard of some of these concepts, but at the end of the day, if you don't have the knowledge enough to recognize the opportunity, because I truly believe that, Don, this is not the first time you've run across a $25,000 opportunity like we did on like how we closed on yesterday. You've recognized other $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 opportunities. Also, some of us, just like what we're going to learn today on some of these debt opportunities, some of us think that just paying the principal is enough, but paying the least amount on that principal to get the maximum output is a completely different strategy. So real quick. So can you speak to just the power of understanding the concept, like how to recognize the opportunity, how valuable recognizing the opportunity was for you in this particular instance?
Well, I tell you, without that knowledge, that would have went right over my head. But by understanding the opportunity, then our first goal was to serve.
Mm,
Okay. So they had a couple of offers on the table. And I said, well, let's break down these offers for the folks. So what I didn't understand, I called you in on to help, to help us everybody understand what was happening. And there were two offers, and one offer was too good to be true. And
absolutely.
and then they said, now we both told them, if they can get that, run with it. I mean, you get that. So I don't know why they're offering that. You said, I don't know. I don't see how they're making money, but if you can get that offer, go with it. And then they said, okay, we'll go with that. But there was a husband and wife, and the wife said, well, if this doesn't work, why don't we let Don wholesale it, because we trust him.
What's beautiful about this, and I want everybody to kind of take heed on this. When you called me originally, we had no plans in making money on this deal per se. We just wanted to serve, help somebody, right? Be a blessing to what they had going on by educating them on how the wholesaling and creative finance process works. And when you called me about this creative finance offer that was presented to this seller, I knew that the math just didn't math, right? And as a result of that, I educated them and I educated everybody on why that math did math. And it put the wholesaler or creative finance investor in a situation where he was going to have to, come back and renegotiate. And once he did that, trust was immediately broken. And we didn't go in thinking about, it wasn't about just making money. It was literally about helping this person understand the offers that he had presented to him from other investors, literally. So we led with serving first. We led with a give first. So I just want everybody to kind of understand that. And as a result of us leading with that give, Don can kind of explain what happened next, if you don't mind.
Well, sure. So here's the wholesaler at that point said that they were going to pay cash for the house and assume the mortgage, all right, which was a $90,000 mortgage that was left. They were going to assume the mortgage because the mortgage was assumable. And then that's why we said, I don't see how they can do that. But if they do, great. So you get your cash, and now you don't have to pay off the mortgage out of that cash. Okay. And they thought that was a great deal. But when it came right down to it, when they agreed to the deal, then the wholesaler had a different tune. They said, oh, you got a 90,000. And then they started doing some of that secret math over the phone. We're going to give you this, and then we're going to subtract 90,000. And then then my seller said, subtract 90,000. What do you mean? You're assuming the mortgage. That's what the deal said. Well, yeah, but I don't. Then they start saying, well, I don't see how we can make money. And they started going into, and I just told myself, if it's not on the paper, okay, then forget about it. All right. And that's exactly what they did. They walked away from the deal because now they were trying to change the terms, which means they were going to have to change the paperwork. What they were doing, and then you guys taught me this, what they were doing is trying to find a motivated seller, get them to put in some time, eat up their time, and then come and make some changes and try to back them up against the wall and say, oh, we don't have enough time to find anybody else to help us. We're just going to have to we're just going to have to eat this deal. and they didn't
Wow.
have to because they had an alternative.
Wow. Wow. And so real quick. So we ended up, connecting. You reached out and we, uh, about the deal. And I said, we're gonna try to wholesale this deal as well as and we may buy the deal and turn around and sell the deal. And I ended up reaching out to Diddy since he was over in Alabama. And I think we found like 2 buyers in like a day.
Like a day.
In like literally a day.
Yeah.
And so those buyers came through. The spread was 25,000. We split that between all 3 of us, and we made about $8,300 on that deal. 8,333 on that deal, and the rest was history. And the reason why I want to bring this up, as we discuss this matter, is because number one, we led with service first, right? We led with the give first. Number two, we had multiple options on the table, but as a result of my particular expertise in the space, we were able to pick the one that best served the seller. Everybody won in the deal. Everybody won. And I think, if we look at the hourly wage on that particular, I think I may have spent maybe 4 hours on that deal, maybe 3 or 4. I don't know.
Mhm.
What you think, Don? Maybe less. I'm about to go. I'm gonna go and calculate it. That's how petty I am.
Well, listen,
I'm gonna
it was
calculate
about that because I had an opportunity to actually pull up the paperwork, Alabama paperwork, and let me see, what's the name of that site? The name of that site is eForms. I pulled it up on eForms. I actually filled out the paperwork, sent it over to you, Byron. You looked at it and said, "Oh yeah, this will work." Oh, but you gave me a couple of tips to add to it.
Absolutely.
All right, because when you go through stuff and you get burned, you know what to do. So
Absolutely.
you told me add this to the form. I said okay. He said add it. I'm gonna add it. So we put it in there. So I got to learn how to do the paperwork, the different parts of the deal. I got to see close up, and so yeah, it was about 3-4 hours, total. And then when we talked on the phone, we never talked over 2 or 3 minutes on the phone after that. Each phone call. So it wasn't a whole lot of time involved in it, but it was a good experience. But you know what was the most important thing of this, the whole thing? The most
What's that?
important thing. Here's the most important thing. You have the knowledge. I did not. Okay? I did not call you out of the blue because I heard you on Clubhouse or I saw you on YouTube. I didn't call you out of the blue and ask you, can I pick your brain?
A lot of people do that.
Facts.
Okay. So I want everybody to know that when I call or text, you answer the call or the text. Okay.
It's a valuable conversation.
And why is that? Because I got on a plane, I paid for the course, all right, and you had something that I could use, and I was willing to pay for it.
Wow.
Okay. Now, here's the thing: I didn't get to use it for some months after that, but when the opportunity presented itself, I recognized it right away because of the time I spent in the course.
First of all, I'm gonna put something on the screen, and I just want everybody to just kind of, if you don't have stingy energy, if your heart is in the right place and you recognize and appreciate success, give him a digital hand clap of praise and appreciation.
Hit the like button too.
Yeah, hit the like button as well, because this is what it looks like to build community. This is what it looks like. This is what true group economics looks like, right? I know we hear a lot about group economics and it's a buzzword and we get excited about it, but this is what it really looks like, right? For me to be able to connect with Don and then be able to connect Don with Diddy, right? And then we all be able, and then we connect with a buyer, and then we all be able to split, a nice, $25,000, right? And then we're also able to help a seller. What's that?
$25,000 bag.
Yes. This is all profit. This is no, pure profit. No gas. And the beautiful thing about this, and we do this all the time, but it's not all the time where we get to do it with community, right? And I want to do this with you. I want you to be able to, send me a deal, right? To the people who are congratulating in the comments. Shout out to all of y'all who are doing that. You know what I mean? If you're moving with no stingy energy and you're moving with the right spirit, I want to be able to make money with you. O'Neal wants to make money with you. Don wants to make money with you.
Yes,
right?
Indeed.
So that's the reason why it's important to not only celebrate success, right? It's not important. It's not only important to celebrate success, but you also want to participate in it and understand that you could recognize the deal as well.
Yeah. We got buyers nationwide too. So it don't matter where you at.
I've never been to Alabama before.
You never been to Alabama?
I've never been to Alabama before. I need to go.
Yeah, but see, you didn't have to. I was boots on the ground. I took a look at the place. I sent you some pictures, and you said, "Oh yeah." Oh, when I sent you the pictures, you said, "Oh yeah. Okay,
we got something.
This is something here." You recognized it right away, and now you're helping me recognize a deal so that eventually I'll be able to do this all on my own. Now, we could talk about the fact that there was a $25,000 assignment fee here. We could talk about, well, what if I said, nah, I'm going to try to do this all by myself. First deal.
You may not have gotten anything.
You might have got zero, or you may have only got 5,000 because you didn't know what you was doing.
Facts. And the reason
you messed up the deal.
Oh, you messed up the deal. Hey, O'Neal, real quick, does this look like a real HUD?
I don't see all of it, but it looked like a piece of a HUD.
It looked like a piece of a HUD. I'm just, for privacy purposes, I'm not putting the seller's information out there, but but I just want people to know that this is a real HUD. Mm-hmm. It's a no cap zone. We leave with receipts. We're not scared to leave with receipts here. So I just wanted to put that out there for everybody, because at the end of the day, we celebrate success around here. We move with no stingy energy because we like success. Did you know that if you hate on other success, it's a high likelihood that you're simultaneously hating on your own success as well?
Right.
That's right.
Because success loves success.
It's attractive.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So I just wanted to put that out there. So yeah, shout out to you, Don, for that opportunity. Congratulations. But I want to get back to this conversation because we're going to help people today.
Put it back up. I got a question.
Okay.
About this.
Okay.
So let's just say, a lot of people here have jobs. A lot of people here have the opportunities to do the same thing. So let's just say somebody in the audience have a job. It may be a wife or a husband. They have a small family of 4. Let's just say they get a bonus from work or they close on a deal and they get $8,500. What should they do, Don? Should they throw the whole $8,500 on the mortgage? Should they throw $4,500? What you think they should do? Because we're talking about financial freedom. We're talking about paying off mortgages early. So
right.
People come into these situations all the time. We talking about tax returns. We talking about bonuses at work. We talking about, I seen a house. I called Neil, called Byron. Now I got another $8,500. What should they do with it if somebody's in this situation right now?
Listen, man, this just happened yesterday. Just yesterday. Folks call me and says, we've got this money in hand. What should we do? We've
Yeah.
been watching the videos. We've been watching your videos on YouTube.
I think it is a very relatable conversation because everybody here has ran into extra money, didn't know what to do with it. So what was your first step?
My first step is to say, I don't know. We have to run the numbers. Okay.
And how do they run the numbers?
So we have to take a look at what they had, how much debt that they had, how much money they came into. Now we're going to take a look at what's your income, what are your expenses, and now let's try to find that right amount for you that you need to take out of that money to put on the debt. Now, why do we need to do that? Okay, I'm going to give you a great example. They have enough money to pay off a ton of debt right now, most of it. Okay, so I have a client, and they're making more money now than when they first started. So when they're making enough money now that they can pay off the last $263,000 of their house in only 3.5 years. Wow. And they're only going to pay $16,000 in interest. So here's what you have to take a look at. How much interest do they have left to pay? So if they put all of that money towards the house, they're only going to pay $16,000 in interest. That says something to me. It doesn't say something to a lot of other people. And here's what it says. I told them, you're paying off the house too fast and you're not paying enough interest. And he looked at me like you looked at me.
That had me scratching my head.
Yes. And I said, so he says, what do you mean? I said, now we have a cloud-based AI computing system that we plug all the numbers in. All right. Because I can't do all that math. It's thousands of calculations, and a human being just can't do it. You have to design a computer to do all of that. So I told him, tell the program you're making $2,000 a month less. So he did. The program came back, said, now you're going to be out of debt in 6.5 years, not 3.5. You're going to pay $20,000 in interest, not 16. He says, well, why would I do that? It's going to cost me more and take me longer. I said, you got to look at it from the other side. Here's what you need to look at. It sounds like you want to be out of debt in 3.5 years. He says, yes. I says, what would you have to do? He says, I would have to put that $2,000 a month back in to my budget. So I said, okay, for 3.5 years, right? He says, yes. So that's 36 months plus a half a year, 6 months. That's 42 months. All right. So that's 42 months times $2,000. I said, how much is that? He says, 84 grand. I said, now you're going to put 84 grand into debt reduction so you can be out of debt in 3.5 years, and you go from paying $16,000 from $20,000 in interest back down to $16,000. So remember, it's not about paying off the debt. It's about saving interest. He's got to put $84,000 into this thing to save an additional $4,000 in interest. I said, do you want to spend your money like that? He said, no. I said, well, that's what you're getting ready to do by focusing on paying off the debt and not trying to save interest. Now, so Don, he is saving interest if he goes from 20,000 to 16,000. No, he's not, because he's losing an opportunity to invest his money to make even more.
That's crazy when you put it like that, because I would say 99.8% of people don't even think that. They just like, man, I'm gonna go ahead and pay this off now.
What is your money doing for you? If you have an opportunity to make money and you don't make that money is lost. That's called opportunity cost lost. And we're not taught to think that way. We're looking to say, pay it off, pay it off, pay it off. You pay off the wrong debt, and you're wondering, why am I in debt forever? and I'm doing exactly what I've been told to do, but you're paying off the wrong debt at the wrong time. Therefore, you're paying more interest than you should. And the more interest you pay, the longer you stay in debt. And you're on that hamster wheel and you're running on it. You're doing everything you've been taught, but the debt is not going away. Why is that? You're putting your money in the wrong place. You're not optimizing the use of the money. So here's what I mean by optimizing. Let's say you learned how to optimize and say, for every dollar I put on principal, I could save $6 in interest. That's a 6-to-1 return on your money. 600%. Love that. Okay. But if you're not watching it, you put the wrong amount of money on, and now it goes to $4.50. You're still saving, but not as much. And how would you know the difference? If it's $6 or $4.50. If you don't have a way to measure, you can't optimize. And folks, you can't optimize what you can't measure. And we're taught not to measure. When I came to your class, the most important thing we got out of the whole class is learn how to measure. What are your measurements, Don? How much you spending on that building? Okay. How much is it going to cost to rehab it? That's a measurement. Okay. What can you rent it for? That's a measurement. What's it going to be worth when you're done fixing it up? That's a measurement. The whole class is learning how to measure. If you can't measure, you can't optimize. And when it comes to lending, we are taught not to measure. So how can you do the very best you can do when you're taught to do the exact thing that's going to keep you from making money and make the banks rich?
Don, we got somebody in the building that said they pushed back on a little bit of information you said.
Ooh,
man.
Let's talk about it.
Well, I probably said it wrong.
We got my guy A.O. in the building. What's going on?
Nah, you didn't say it wrong, Don. And I understand. Y'all excuse me, man. I'm just now waking up, listening to my brothers getting this wisdom. And I love Don, man. Everything he talks about, I 100% agree. So this is really not a pushback. I would say I said it wrong, Don, in the chat. I think it's another perspective of looking at it. Because you're right, we do need to measure. But I would question, let's say, for example, my mortgage payment was $5,000. And I get your point on saving on the interest. But if I get that $5,000 back and I save that interest, and then now I invest all of that earlier on, because we understand the power of investing is about investing as much as you can earlier on. So not only am I just saving the $4,000, but now I'm investing an extra $5,000 plus the extra money I got back from the interest earlier on. When we think of the average person's mindset, Don, what you're saying makes total sense. But we do know the average person is not going to take that money and go and invest it. The average person. So I'm not talking about the people on this YouTube channel. I'm talking about the average person in America is not going to listen to what you're teaching and go and invest all that money. So my sidebar to what you're saying, 100% agree. But me, if someone came to me with that information and they don't have any other debt, they're investing basically, everything else is good, and their desire and their goal was to get out of debt so they can invest more, build more wealth, then for me, I would say, well, listen, if you have the means to attack this debt and still invest, right, still keep your minimum of like 15% invested into your future accounts, yeah, attack that debt, because then now you're going to get back your mortgage payment, plus save on interest. Now you can invest more, go buy more real estate property, go invest other things. And then now you're investing more earlier on, other than waiting another 5-6 years to start investing more. So that would be my only sidebar to what Don is saying. It's just giving a different perspective of what he's saying.
I like that too, because I was gonna, Don, you on mute. I was gonna ask that because most average Americans they're not gonna invest. Or they're gonna say, yeah, I'm thinking about investing, but They're either too scared to pull the trigger. They don't know what to invest in. They don't want to spend the money on educating themselves on to learn the new investment. So I'm happy you hit it from that side.
Well, Byron said from the outset, you're going to learn some things today that you did not know before. Okay, in a forum like this, you can't see everything. You can't, because there's just not enough time. You can only get the highlights. So people watch my videos and they say, "Oh, I know what you're doing, and so now I'm going to do it." No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. Don't try this at home. Okay. So when you become a Pill Method client, let me just show you some of the things that we go over. I'm going to put this on the screen. Okay. Here's some of the benefits of the features that I've never even talked to you all about. This is the first time you've seen it or even heard of it. We're going to tell the folks, you're going to live an enhanced lifestyle. Okay. You can live well while you're doing this. You can build a large emergency fund while you're doing this, because that's the fund we're going to attack the debt with. All right. And we're going to find the least amount to attack the debt with out of your funds. You'll be able to pay off a 30-year mortgage in about 8 to 12 years. Student loans pay off in 5 to 7. Your average interest savings cost is going to be about 75%. You're going to know the month, day, and year you're going to be debt free. But what does this say? Lifetime financial consultation. We have people on staff right now that you'll be able to call and that can help you with investing for the future. And because you're a Pill Method client, you do not have to pay for consultation. And you have it for a lifetime.
Okay. So all future loans, they can go ahead and call you up.
So yeah, listen, they're going to be able to do that. So they'll be able to figure. We got people that's going to help them say, okay, they have all of their licenses that they need to be a financial planner. Right? I don't have that, but I know people who do, and they're on staff. Okay. We even have people. We have people that will help you to negotiate your next new car for you over the phone. You can be sitting in the dealership and they'll do all the talking on speakerphone. Okay. You can participate in the rewards program. We'll even pay you to share this. This is the most powerful money management, wealth building, debt elimination system ever created. You find a better way, we give you your money back. Okay. Here's you get 4 months of personalized financial coaching for free. We don't just give you a program and say, go ahead. You get coaching that's built in. There's a one-time fee for the program. It is a lifetime program. And look at this. Lifetime toll-free customer service. Okay. Not email customer service. You call between the hours of 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. Mountain Time, Monday through Friday. Somebody answers the phone and answers your question. So you're right. Putting people out there and telling them you can invest, but not giving them the tools or the support, you're right. They're not going to do it. The same way if a doctor tells you, yeah, Don, your blood pressure is too high, you're going to have to change your eating habits. And then leave it at that. Is Don going to change his eating habits? You're on mute, Byron.
You're on mute, Byron.
Don going to get a burger after he leave doctor.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
Just because people pay for our service doesn't mean they're going to use it correctly. They have to meet with us on a weekly or bi-weekly basis so that they can get the habits that they need to learn. Plus, when they're not working with their coach who is assigned to them, they can call customer service for small problems. And we don't care if they call 10 times a day. Call when you have a question and you never run into a problem.
Here's the deal. Thank you for sharing that. Because I really want to dig deeper into this because, we're talking about financial freedom, right? And I'm glad we got AO on here as well. Because when we're talking about, number one, prioritizing debt payments and optimizing debt reduction, right? We're talking about two things that are mutually exclusive, but at the same time, they work similarly, right? So we're talking about how does, I guess, this method prioritize the debt payments, right? And also optimizing debt. And the reason why this is important, because I want to pivot this to AO, because I know AO is big on debt reduction just in general, right? And Don, you're more so on debt reduction, optimized debt reduction. So AO, in your experience, I know that you've helped a lot of people get out of debt just in general. Um, um, do you think that, I guess in general, do most people care more about how to optimize how to pay off debt the most efficient way, or do people just typically just want to get out of debt in general? What's your
As
thoughts
fast
on
as
that?
possible.
Yeah.
No, I think neither, man. I think honestly, we're looking for the average person wants to make more money. I don't think
Mm,
the average person wants to get out of debt, optimize their debt. I think that we are like, oh my God, how can I make 1,000? How can I make 500,000? How can I get to the bag quicker? And what everything is done is teaching. I love, man, and I would highly suggest that everyone gets what Don is teaching, sign up for what Don is teaching, because his key thing is the education. Forget the other stuff. I think that people perish for the lack of knowledge, and so to get the knowledge along with the other things that he's offering, that's gold. I think for me, if you're going to prioritize eliminating the debt, optimizing and eliminating the debt, the strategy behind getting out of debt, that's great. But if we really sit back and look at the wisdom and the knowledge of what's really happening in today's day and time, we're teaching people how to make more money, but we're not teaching people how to steward that money. And I
mm,
think for me, that's the key thing that's happening, because we're teaching them, well, man, here's alley hoop. You can not pay off your mortgage and go over here and make extra money and do this and do that. But then we're not teaching them the methods on how to multiply that, how to eliminate the debt, how to really steward that money well. And so that's why I'm on the whole debt free side. Because if I have no debt, and then I come over to Don and I say, Don, I'm 100% debt free. I got 15,000, 10,000, $5,000 a month I can invest. What's the best strategy? I'm a better student to see a progression in my financial freedom because of my position in life. And I think that's it right there. God, I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all know me. I'm a Christian. I think that the best way to build wealth is to position yourself the best way. And positioning yourself means you're not drowning in debt trying to make an extra $5,000, $10,000 a month on the investing side and not eliminating that debt. And so that's why I just want to come up here and just say, to compliment what Don is saying. Like, I agree 100% what he was saying. However, if someone was to come to me, I would say, listen, if you have the financial means, and if you're still investing 10 to 15% of your annual income into your retirement accounts, into investment accounts, then yeah, attack that debt. Why? Because I'm going to be in a better position to invest even more. And studies are showing that people are investing less and less and less, but we're trying to get the knowledge to get more and more and more. If I can go from investing $1,500 a month because I'm drowning in debt to now $7,000 a month because I'm debt free in 3 years, you're going to catch up. Math is going to catch up 3 years later, because now you're investing more, which means the power of your compound interest is more. And then you're going to be making more money. So then you're going to invest even more as time goes on. So for me, financial freedom always starts with eliminating as much debt as you possibly can. But just because we're debt free doesn't mean that we're wealthy. You got to get with Don to really start learning how to invest more and how to flip it from there. And so that's my 2 cents. I think people want to be able to pass their debt off and then get into making more money. But I think, to me, that's backwards.
I
Hey,
love it. I
Hey,
love
I'm
it.
not I'm not gonna lie, man. I think it's a beautiful conversation for black men talking about this because you don't really see this too often.
That's a fact. You know what I like about what he said too, and I want to pivot this to Don too, is increasing the income piece. We talk about this all the time here, and I think when people think about real estate investing, they think about going from no money to $1 million and over the moon. And listen, I've made well into the 7 figures in real estate investing, but I'll be honest with you, I don't believe everybody needs to do that. Matter of fact, I listen, I'm gonna go out on a limb. I think most people don't need to focus on becoming a $1 million producer in real estate. But if you could do, yeah, it's just not for everybody, because it does take you being committed 100%, right? And I'm speaking from experience. I could show you my experience in receipts, right? Listen, when you are moving at that level, you have to dedicate your life in a lot of ways, and the sacrifices are large in order to make that happen. And a lot of people are just not built or equipped to be able to do that, right? And the reason why I'm saying it is because I've taught people this business, right? And I've seen the progression of some, and I've seen where a lot of people kind of lie. But if you could just pick up an additional $30,000, $50,000, $100,000 a year real estate investing, that's enough in a lot of cases to transform a lot of people's lives on top of your regular W-2. That's a lot, right? So me and Don did a deal yesterday, in total, we made $25,000. Yeah, obviously we split that between 3 parties, but how many of those does it take a year, right, to have life-changing consequences for the better if you're utilizing some of the strategies that AO is just talking about, if you're utilizing some of the strategies that Don is talking about, right? So how like, the problem is you'll take that extra 100,000 and then now you're going to have a lifestyle creep of 150,000 because now you think you the man. But imagine what life would look like if you take that additional 100,000, 50,000, 60,000, and you utilize some of these strategies, right, to get yourself closer to being out of debt. And then at the same time, also investing those additional returns once you do get out of debt. And we're going to talk about optimizing debt reduction next with Don. What does that look like? So Don, to some of the people here that's listening, they're looking to not only get out of debt, and they figured out their side hustle, whether it be real estate, whether it be, whatever they do, they're selling products online, whatever it may be that allows them to be able to increase their income. How do they optimize that debt reduction at a high level? Can you speak to that? And why is that important?
It's important because it has to start out with tracking your expenses. You have to track your money, right? I'm not talking about restrict yourself. I'm talking about tracking it. How much am I making and how much am I spending? And so when you know how much you're making and then how much you're spending, then you know how much you have left over. Then what do you do? How do you optimize the leftover? Now, here's the other thing you have to do. All right, let's just break it down. First thing, you have to make the money. And you're making the money. What's next? Giving to charity or church or whatever it is that you're doing. All right. So you're making and then you're giving. The next thing you do is pay yourself. All right. Pay yourself. How much are we going to live on? What are we going to do as a family to create memories and not just talk about, we can't do anything because we have to pay off this debt. Build that into your budget. How much are you spending on the family? The next thing you're doing is putting at least the minimum amount on your debt. And then after that, you're paying, and then you're paying the rest of the bills. What's left is the money is called discretionary income. How are you using your discretionary income? Here's an example of what we have to do first to optimize. Let's put this on the screen. So we have a total of $416,000 in debt. Okay. we're optimizing here. We know how much we're making. We know how much we're spending. We know what our expenses are, and we have an average amount that's left over. We know what that is. I forgot. One of the things that we want to do, we definitely want to make sure that we're investing in the future. I left that one out. We're doing all of those things, investing for the future. Okay. So with all of that, we have this left over. And now here is how much interest the bank wants us to pay on the debt. I can't do anything about the debt. The debt is the debt. How much do I owe? What does it cost to manage the debt? This is what we don't know. The average consumer has no idea how much they're consuming in interest. So we figure that out. How much you're consuming in interest. Now, how can I do everything I just said, invest for the future, have fun with the family, and pay off the debt? I don't need to make more money. I need to know how to pay less interest. So instead of 163,000, we're going to pay 41,006 in interest. To pay this amount of interest on all of that debt, you'd have to have an interest rate of 0.64%.
And that's not possible to get.
If I can borrow the money that cheaply, then I can do a lot with that. So I'm saving, that's a 75% haircut on the interest cost. I'm saving $122,000. Instead of being out of debt in 27 years, I'm now going to be out of debt in 7.6 years, not because I have more money. It is because I'm optimizing my interest savings. I'm putting the right amount of money on the right debt at the right time. So that's 19 years I'm cutting off. This is an average family, all right? An average family that is maximizing the use of their money, paying off the debt, still living well while they're doing it, growing their savings while they're doing it, and taking the money that they're not spending on the debt. And over the next 19 and a half years, they can turn that money into $1.3 million. That is in addition to what they're already doing as far as investing goes. Now, this 1.3, that's at 1% return on their money.
Wow.
1% return on their money. So we go with somebody else that can get the national average of 6 to 7%. Listen, this is an average W-2 family with no extra money coming in.
So this is a regular family making what is it, $8,000 a month?
Yeah, 8,000, 8,900 a month. It's a dual income family.
So this is basically like for the medium income family.
Yeah.
So when we look
Where
at
are
this,
they investing that money at, O'Neal?
I'm not sure. So what kind of investments are they making on this, Don?
Oh,
are they doing like 401k type things, or what is it?
Well, just the regular investing, like a 401k.
401k.
Whatever they're doing on their jobs. Whatever they're doing on their jobs. This money here is an addition to what they're doing on their jobs.
Gotcha. So once they get, that 1.3, that's when they can go with what Byron was talking about earlier. Everybody doesn't have to be a professional real estate investor. You can buy one house a year, 2 houses a year, flip that house, and you can make more money. I would probably do something like that, or you could put it into stock market, 401k, or start something else on the side. But Ayo, when you see all this, what thoughts come to your mind?
Yo, Don is Don. Yeah, Don is donning right now. I'm not even. I think for me, being in the money space, like you all, I'm just like, whoa, wait, where does that 1.3 come from? Because this is beautiful math. If you could sit here, eliminate your debt, and then 19.5 years later, you got 1.3 on top of your 401k investment. That's great. I'm just a little bit more aggressive than what Don teaches, because I was like, man, forget trying to save a whole lot, forget trying to, still enjoy life a little bit. How can I shorten that even in half? So if Don's method is 27.1, if I come to Don, I'm like, Don, I don't want to wait 7 years. If I want to go aggressive for 3 years, give me the plan for 3 years so I can do even more investing. But Don is donning. I mean, I like what I'm seeing, and I think we need to see more Black brothers who are teaching our Black community how to get out of debt, y'all, and build wealth. Because what he's teaching, I'm gonna go a little bit deeper. Why I think y'all should get with his program, and check him out and rock out with what these guys are teaching. Because what he's teaching is not just about financial freedom. This is about legacy building. You know what I'm saying? This is about passing the torch down to our kids. Because now, if you're out of debt, and you're passing down wealth, the average Black family leaves two things to their kids: bills and benefits. And the benefits are only enough to take care of partial of the bills, not all of the bills, not to send down a legacy. So if you can get out of debt in 19 years and you got an extra $1 million to invest, then you invest that 1 million, then that 1 million brings you back a return. Don would say 6 or 7%. If we look at the average 40 years of the S&P 500, you can get up to 8 to 12%, depending on where you're looking at. That will turn into another $3 to $4 million. $3 to $4 million, you can live off of the interest, the compound interest of that was going to be right around $100 to $300,000. Now you're passing down $3 to $5 million when you pass, rather than partial bills, and partial benefits. So I like what I'm seeing. I'm just a little bit more aggressive up front, because I want to get out of debt as soon as I can, and then start aggressively investing into property, real estate, stock markets, businesses earlier on, so I can get more of my return.
So,
Yeah,
AL,
we actually, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I got a question. So when AL say you'll be a little bit more aggressive, what does that look like? So you would stop, I'm guessing, stop the family, go and eat out maybe once, twice a month, things like that. Break that down when you say more aggressive.
Yo, so for me, when I got out of debt, man, I even stopped dating. Like I didn't really have too much of a personal life. Now, my aggressive is not even what I teach to other people, because that takes a level of maturity. It takes a level of discipline, and honestly, it's boring. Which is why I said what Don is teaching is great, because I think more people will stick with his method because they can still enjoy their life a little bit. But what I have learned is I want to enjoy my life earlier on, and not be a slave to my job, not be a slave to other bankers and lenders, as quickly as I possibly can. So for me, if I'm in this situation today, yeah, I'm sitting down with the whole family. Like, hey, listen, give me 2 years and our whole life is going to change. Just give me 2 years to where we may not take a family vacation. We're going to eat good, because I'm going to cook at the house like it is a resort, like we are going out to eat. I may not take you to Ruth Chris Steakhouse, but I'm going to cook you a Ruth Chris Steakhouse steak on Fridays. I'm going to deliver the vision to the family that they understand, hey, this is not just because, this is so we can do the things that we desire to do earlier on and way more. And so, I'm not going out on vacations. I'm not going to be eating out as much. Me and my wife are not going to go out on family days if I'm in that position. Because
Date
just
in the
think
house.
about it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna enjoy life, but we're gonna enjoy life just a little bit different, so that way we can get to our dreams and our goals quicker. So that's just Anthony. I don't teach that even in my own plan and my teachings, because I know Anthony O'Neill's just a little bit different. But to the average person, I would probably be maybe 10% more aggressive than Don and what he showed here, because I think if we could teach that, right? If we give people a little bit of room, but y'all, they're gonna double the room that we give them, right? So for me, I'm gonna teach a little bit more aggressive, because I already know where they're gonna land at on being aggressive, and it can still track them forward with eliminating that debt. So again, I didn't come up here to argue Don. I think what Don is teaching is amazing, and I want people to get it and rock with this man, because I've learned a lot from Don. And like I said, Don is donning right now. So I love this brother.
So listen, we are on the Anthony train, okay, already, because this is where we start. I tell folks, this is where we start. This is not where we finish. This is not a plan. This is telling people this is the minimum you can do with us. As you work with us, we're going to actually do more. All right. But when they're coming to us, they have an old mindset about money. And it's kind of difficult for them to believe, with what we're making, we can actually be out of debt in 7 years instead of 34 years. No one ever taught us that. So we take them where they are, we get them into the program, and it says, now, this is the minimum we're going to do. What plan do you have? What are some of the plans that you have that we can help you to accomplish now that we have some basic numbers to work with? And where would you like to go? Now we can put together a strategy. This is not a strategy. This is just telling them, here's the minimum you could do. We're going to put together a strategy that's going to look more like what you're talking about, Anthony. But we're taking them right where they are when we first meet them.
So, Don, do you have a minimum amount of debt do you work with? Because I'm sure some people here only may have $30,000, $40,000 worth of debt. So do you have like a minimum?
Well, see, here's the thing. Remember, our focus is how much interest can we save you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we're going to do what's called you request a savings report. And when you get a savings report, that's going to tell us how much interest we're going to be able to save. Okay. So you can have a large amount of debt, and if it's structured right, you don't have a whole lot of interest left. Or you could have a smaller amount of debt and you have a whole lot of interest left to pay, and we could save you a ton. So that's the first thing we do. Now, if it turns out that we can't save you a whole lot of interest, then we have to know, what is your goal? Are you planning on getting another house? What are your future plans? And some people, we just tell them, based on what you just told us, we can't recommend our program to you.
Gotcha.
Right? But we can give you some good advice. Okay. So here's some things that you can do on your own that can get you to where you want to go, because you have a small amount of debt and you don't need our service at this time.
So everybody's not your client, but
not everybody.
The first step is what we see right here is the savings and earnings report, correct?
Savings and earnings report. So this is what everybody gets, and they get this for free to see where they are, to see where they could go with the minimum. And then we can see what can we do in the future. If you like this, most people who get this, they can, when they first sign up with us, they immediately do 10 to 17% better numbers as soon as we plug everything into the actual program.
I would say so, because then they actually see what's really going on, and most people really don't know what's going on in their finances. No, especially not, a lot of people don't know bills they're paying. A lot of people don't know the consistent bills that they have, like Netflix, Hulu, things like that. So I think once you put it on paper, and I'm sure when they get with you, you really break it down. A lot of people start cutting off things that they don't even use no more.
And that happens. That does happen. When they see it come in, it says, oh, we're not even using that. Turn that off. Or they have bills in, if they're running a spreadsheet, they have bills in that are not long-term. There's some of these things that, like a piano lessons or something that's happening in school. But when you plug it into a spreadsheet, you're not telling the spreadsheet there's an end date. In our program, you can say, oh, this thing has an end date. So when we plug that in, then the program knows when to start using that money as well, because that money is no longer going out anymore. So we can plug a lot of things into this thing and say, okay, I'm going to be paying this for this amount of time, and I'm only going to pay this till my kid graduates from high school. And then I'm going to tell the program, we don't need that money anymore.
Gotcha. So look, man, it definitely makes sense to everybody here needs to get a free savings and earnings report. So make sure you go to ice10k.com and get you one so you can actually see what's going on. Like we said before, a lot of people really don't know what's going on in their finances. They don't know what money's going out. We only know what money coming in. That's it. So make sure you go check out ice10k.com and let's see what ET got to say about it.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She like, you sure? Because I'm going to keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't got to do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.
Make sure you go to icetk.com, man, for your free savings and earnings report. I think everybody should get one. It's free. You need to start learning about your finances and actually start to become financially free. So it's up to you to make that decision. So Don, what's some things, what's some things that everybody, in your opinion, because me and Byron are heavy on real estate.
Yeah.
What are some other investments you think people can make with that extra money? Like, if they got an extra $1,500, what do you think is some investments that they should be making to better their future?
Well, see that we're going to do an inventory. We're going to ask some good questions, and then our people who do that for us, one of the things they're going to try to find out is they're going to try to assess their risk tolerance. What's your risk tolerance? What can you invest in? Is it stocks? Do you want to invest into this? People can have you ever heard of what is it? Peer-to-peer lending.
Yeah.
Okay. People invest in that.
Right. I know, like with that, like that's when sometimes a company, let's just say Cabbage, lends out small loans for $10,000, and you may have 4 people that put $2,500 into their $10,000, and they make a return on that.
Yeah.
So I would say that's a great strategy for the people that's kind of like don't have a high risk tolerance, because you're only lending out $2,500 on a $10,000 loan, and the interest on that is probably like what, 17-18%.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good money when you think about it. So there are a lot of things that you can do. I would just with Chat GPT and Perplexity and all, you can just plug in these things and say, I'm an investor with a low risk tolerance. What are some of the things I could do? Okay, give me 10 things that I could do. So, in fact, let me do that.
Yeah, let's pull it up. Show your screen, man. Let's check it out.
Let me do that. So we're going to go to Perplexity. It says, okay. It says here, I am an investor, all right, with low risk tolerance. Okay, low risk tolerance. Okay, all right. Give me 10 things I can invest in. All right, there we go. I've never done this before. Let's see.
See what they say.
High yield savings, certificates of deposit, money market funds, treasury inflation protected securities. I never even heard of these. Okay, tips. Have you ever heard of those? I haven't.
Never heard of that. So out of these things right here, which one you think you would choose first?
Me?
Yeah.
I kind of like the fixed annuities. All right. If I'm low risk tolerance, dividend paying stocks, those are usually you're going to be your blue chip stocks, things that aren't going to go anywhere.
Right.
So, but I kind of like the fixed annuities.
So the reason I ask is because everybody should be investing. You don't have to do real estate. You don't have to go open up a store. You don't have to sell things online. You can simply put money in a high yield savings account. We just teach it here that the extra money that you do have should not just be sitting around. It should be making more money. Of course, it may not be making 50%. It could make 6%, could make 5%, but we need it to make more money than it's making currently. You don't need to be at 0% return. Yeah, it needs to be at 3, 5, 6, something. But you need to make money on your money. That's basically what we're getting around to.
I see it a lot. O'Neal, I see it a lot. People have $50, $100, $150,000 sitting in a regular savings account.
And it's been there for about 2-3 years.
Yes. It's losing money.
Yes.
Okay. Because what I tell people, I said, you put that money in a savings account, every day it's in there, it's worth less until it becomes worthless.
But you got to realize too, our people just like to open up the app and like, oh, all right, it's still there.
Yeah, I like seeing that. I like seeing that money.
We just like to look at it. Yeah, we just like to look at it.
Listen,
so
we got to get past that. We got to get past that. That I just like looking at it. You don't have to be risky with your money, but you don't have to set it in the bank and thinking that that's what you're supposed to do. And we don't understand how banks operate. Banks,
they want you to have it sitting in there, and they're gonna make hella money off your money.
Yep, they get to lend out 10 to 1, between 8 and 10 to 1. For every dollar they have on deposit, they can lend out between $8 and $10 for every dollar you have on deposit.
Yeah. So the more money you have sitting in the bank, you're investing into the bank and not making no money.
Not making money for yourself. So stop losing money, learn how to invest it. That's why we have people on our team that can help you to understand money from that side. The pill method helps you from the saving on the interest side, but then we have people on the wealth building side as well.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So Don, what's your final thoughts about today, man? I think today was an amazing show.
Man. My final thought is we have been conditioned to be consumers and to have a consumer mentality when it comes to our money, even when we're saving, even when we're trying to make money. We still have
we're hoarders of money too.
Yes, we're consumer mentality. We need to learn how to make our money work for us. Learn the truth about money. And when it comes to understanding these loans, just remember this. You have credit cards, car loans, mortgages, student loans, all types of loans. But we've never been taught how they all work. So, how can you do well if you're playing a game you don't know the rules to? So, come to the pill method, find out the rules.
Before we get out of here, I want to bring this up.
Yeah.
They have your city in here, and they also got Texas in there too.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, that was my alarm.
No, you're good. You're good. So when we look at this, this shows the percentage of houses paid off in the largest cities in the United States. Houston is the first one. 32% of people have a house paid off. Now, when I look at that, first thing I think about, okay, out of the 32%, how many are Black? So when you look at this, Don, what's your thoughts?
My thoughts are, when was it paid off? All right, because I'm telling you, when your parents or your grandparents got a house, and I got that on my screen right now. Okay, when your parents and grandparents had a house, maybe they had a $70,000 loan at 12% interest.
Right.
Okay. Now, here's how that loan breaks down. Look how much goes to principal.
Damn.
Look how much goes to interest.
Oh, if
I make this payment here, make my first payment of $720, I come up with an extra $20.23. I knock off line 2. I can pay an extra $20.23 and kill this interest right here. That's how your parents and grandparents did it. And they didn't even realize that they had that 12% interest rate. They were killing this loan anytime they put any extra money on. So which loans got paid off? That's the ones I'm looking at, whether the higher interest loans or the loans that we have now, where we can't take advantage of the low principal payments. You control the principal payment, you control the loan. So when you take a look at this, O'Neill, 1 year on this loan, cumulative principal and cumulative interest, that means all the principal payments added up for 1 year is $254.03.
That's crazy.
You can pay $254.03 all at once and knock a year off this loan.
And that's when you save $8,000 in interest.
Exactly. So that's how they were doing it. We just didn't know. We look at a 12% interest rate. We just go crazy. Oh my God, how did they do it? How did they live? Well, this is how they lived. They didn't know that by paying extra, they were killing this much. An extra $21 kills almost $700 in interest. Look at that. Crazy. I know. But once you understand it, you can, now that you know the rules, you can do something about it. So we're into teaching the rules. And generally, everything that you know to do, we're probably going to teach you to do the opposite.
You got to unlearn and relearn.
Unlearn and then relearn.
That's how you get to financial freedom. But make sure you guys check out ice10k.com, get your free savings and earnings report. Don definitely broke it down, so he gave us a massive amount of value in a short amount of time. But it's up to you to get more information for you and your family. So definitely go check out ice10k.com so you can go ahead and get that free savings and earnings report. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let me see. Always pay extra to pay off your mortgage. That's what we're talking about.
Again. All right. Don't take what we said here and then try to do that. It's not about just paying extra. It's about pay the least amount at the right time. And you're not even doing it every month. You're only doing it between every 2 and 4 months. You're putting that money on the debt. Every 2 to 4 months, not every month, but the right amount, the least amount that's going to kill the most in interest. It's a mindset that we have to teach. It's hard for people to grasp.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. That's a whole new way of living, thinking, not living, a whole new way of thinking. But make sure you go to ice10k.com, go to nostingyenergy.com, and let's go ahead and drop that commercial, man.
Hey, I hope you're enjoying the show. Make sure before you leave, you go on nostingyenergy.com. Grab yourself some gear, man. No Stingy Energy gear is quality material, good material. It's not the hard cotton material. It's a quality material. And make sure you get your jogging sets. You can get you a hoodie, a t-shirt. Just grab you something, man. nostingyenergy.com. Let's get back to the episode.
Love it. Go to GoTastify.com, the best CRM in the game right now. You definitely want to get that. And you can try, Byron mentioned earlier, real estate isn't for everybody full time, but it is for everybody to do 1 or 2 deals a year. You can go to, we got the link for Deal Machine. Deal Machine, you can just ride around the neighborhood with your phone. You see a house, take a picture of the house. You can go ahead and shoot them a message. You can shoot them a postcard. If you do that, let's just say 1 weekend out the month, that's 12 times a year, you probably will get you a deal, 1 or 2 deals off of that. So we're just trying to give y'all more ways to better your life and make more money, live a better life for you and your family, pay off some debt. Because at the end of the day, we don't want to die and pass on debt to our family. We don't want to do that. All right. So Byron, you got any final words?
And he's muted if he's talking.
Yeah, he muted. Might be at a house or something.
Yep.
Well, that's it, man. Well, y'all have a good day. Enjoy your weekend. And peace.
Hey, so often people ask me how to get in real estate, how to get started in real estate. Look, I have a mentorship group. I have live classes that I usually teach. It's usually from an hour to 2 hours, depending on the subject we're talking about. I teach from 12 weeks to 15 weeks. All right. If you're interested in my mentorship, text wealth to this number right here, and I'll send you the link directly to the website. If you're looking to go to the next level, I got you. The classes are live. You can ask any question you want. I'm here for you. And I'll see you on the inside. Peace. Hey, what's up, everybody? A lot of people struggle in their business when it comes to real estate or just any business in general. Reason being because they probably using a pen pad, Excel sheet. You got to realize you got to treat your business like a business. Make sure you check out Taskify CRM. It's a CRM system. It texts and drips campaign, email. You can actually sign contracts within your CRM. I use Taskify CRM. If you want to check out the CRM that I use right now, make sure you check out that QR code, scan it with your phone. It'll show you inside of what we're using today. If you want to take your business to the next level, check out Taskify CRM. Peace.